All right, for 8, 9, and 10, simplifying the complex expression, we treat these just like we would variables. It's just like adding, subtracting, and multiplying binomials with x's in there, with one slight difference that we won't see until we get to number 10. So starting here, when we're adding two binomials, you'll notice we really don't even need this plus sign right here. All right, it's not even needed, so the parentheses aren't even needed. We can just start combining things. So combine your units, 3 plus 5, that's 8. And then combine your variables. So 2i plus 7i is 9i. And you're done. Number 9 is the same idea. The only difference is we now have a negative on the inside, and I keep using the box instead of it. We now have that negative in the middle. So we can't just get rid of the parentheses like the last one because we need to distribute that negative. All right, so when we rewrite it, we're going to still have 6 plus 5i, but when we distribute that negative, that becomes a negative 4 and a negative 3i. Just like distributing a negative 1. Right? And from here, now we can combine the terms. So 6 plus 4 is 10, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So we have 10 plus 5i. And I can't believe I just wrote a 5. 2i. There you go. And that will be your answer. Number 10 is the only one I told you that was slightly different. Now we start off the same way we would anyways. Anything else, we're going to distribute. So 4 times 7i, 4 times negative 2, then negative 6i times that, and negative 6i times a negative 2. We'll just distribute it like we would any other binomials. So here we go. 4 times 7i is, 4 times 7, just lost my train of thought, 28. 28i. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 6 times negative 6i times 7i, 6 times 7, pardon me, is negative 42. And I times I is I squared. And then last but not least, negative 6i times negative 2 is positive 12i. All right, and then we combine our terms just like anything else. I'm going to go ahead and write negative 8, 28 plus 12, that's 40 plus 40i minus 42i squared. I'm just combining my terms real quick. Now, the one thing I will say, you got to remember that I squared is kind of a special case. I squared is the same thing as saying negative 1. All right? So really what we've got here is a negative 42 times negative 1, which, remember, you multiply a negative times a negative becomes a positive. So you got negative 8. Again, I don't know where that little tilde mark came from. Negative 8 plus 40i plus 42. And then we'll combine the units. So 42 minus 8 is 34. So we got 34 plus 40i. That would be your final answer right there. Now, I will say this. I understand that most people, once they realize that, I see this and I realize, that I squared is a negative 1, that makes the 42 positive, so I can go ahead and combine a positive 42 with the negative 8. I get that. If you want to skip writing out this step or writing out that, I completely understand it and go straight to this. Alright, just don't lose track of your negatives, is all I'm saying. Watch out for losing track of your negatives.